Hi everyone, it's Mrs. O'Brien, and today's writer's workshop, we are going to keep writing our friendly letters, but we're going to do something a little bit special today. And that is why I have Pumpkin with me, who doesn't really want to be sitting here, so he's just going to say hello for a minute. And that is that we are going to pretend like we are an animal while we're writing this letter. So we're going to have a lot of fun with our letter today. And I have on my cat ears. And I have Pumpkin here with me because I am going to pretend like I am Pumpkin while I'm writing my letter. So I have him here for inspiration. I'm going to let him go whenever he tells me he needs to. So let's take a moment to review our friendly letter format. We have the date up here. We have the greeting, the body, the closing, and the signature. And we're going to say goodbye to Pumpkin so that we can continue our lesson. So let's say goodbye, Pumpkin. There we go. Okay, so date, put the date like you always do. Greeting, this is another special part. You're going to decide who you're writing your letter to. We'll talk more about this in just a minute. The body is going to be similar to the way that we've written our letter before. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to give an update. Then we're going to tell a story. And then we are going to ask a question. We're going to do our closing and we're going to do our signature. So, two things that you need to decide is what animal am I? So, as I told you, I am going to be writing the letter as if I am my cat, Pumpkin. And maybe you have an animal, a pet at home, and you're going to write the letter as if you're that pet. Maybe you've just always wanted to be a dolphin, so you're going to write the letter as if you were a dolphin and tell a story about swimming out in the ocean. I know some of you guys have been following Major Hamster, so maybe you'll write this letter as if you were Major Hamster. And then the second question is, who are you writing this letter to? To whom am I writing? If you're Major Hamster, maybe you're writing to the cat. I'm writing as Pumpkin, and I decided that as Pumpkin, I'm going to write to Mom, which is Mrs. O'Brien. This can be a little bit confusing. Maybe you're going to be writing as your pet and then writing to yourself. You can see how we're doing the letter, but what we really want you to do is have fun with this letter. Tell whatever funny story you want to do. Just really have fun with it. So let's take a look at what I wrote. If you hear stuff in the background, it's Pumpkin on the scratching post. Going kind of crazy right now. Okay, so I've got my date up here, May 11th, 2020, and I've got my greeting. And wow, notice in my greeting right here, I have my comma. Remember to put that comma after your greeting. So, dear Mom. Now, Pumpkin is going to give me an update on how life is going. All right, so let's read that update from Pumpkin. Dear Mom, hello, it's your cat Pumpkin. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. I've spent the last hour eating, drinking water, going outside for a walk, coming back in to eat, drink water, going back out. I could do this all day. So that's Pumpkin's update on what he's doing. You'll see this ... That means he's just going to keep on doing that. It keeps going. So that is Pumpkin's update. Okay. Next, Pumpkin is going to tell me a little story. Or I, as Pumpkin, am writing a story here. Okay, so let's see what Pumpkin's story is. Speaking of what I like doing during the day, I'd like to tell you a story about how I spent yesterday. I was outside sleeping in the grass when all of a sudden, 2 deer jumped up right next to me. How dare they disrupt my sleep? So I said to the deer, "Hey, what are you doing in my yard? Move along." They didn't even acknowledge me. They just ate some flowers and then walked up the hill. All right, that is Pumpkin's story. But what I want to do for a minute is I want to focus in on something that I used in my story and something I'd like you to try using in your story, and that's dialogue. And we've talked about dialogue some in our reading. and I want to add dialogue in the writing. So here, you'll notice that the dialogue is here when you see the quotation marks, okay? So quotation marks are what you want to add when you're writing dialogue, and when you're reading, that's a hint that that is what the character is saying. So let's zoom in on that dialogue and take a look at how you do that correctly. So I said to the deer, "Hey, what are you doing in my yard? Move along." Okay, so one thing really important to include in your dialogue are your quotation marks. So I've got a quotation mark at the beginning of where my person is talking, and I've got a quotation mark at the end of where my person is talking, okay? And that is the clue to your reader that this character is speaking. It's this character's voice that you're hearing. So you always want to put the quotation marks in. Now, another thing that's often left out, but what I want you to practice doing when you're doing your writing this time is putting a comma before your quotation marks. Now, just practice this, just do your best. There's some different rules to this. I started writing my sentence, so I told the deer, I'm in the middle of my sentence, so I need to have a comma there. Hey, what are you doing in my yard? Move along. Notice also that I still have my punctuation in here inside of the quote marks. So I know that that's a lot to think about when you're doing your dialogue. Do your best, and then when we read your story, we'll help you with that. Okay, so let me pull that off so we can keep reading our story. And let's finish up with the question. What question is Pumpkin going to ask me? Let's see. Well, that was a lot of excitement for one day. How did you spend your day? What is your favorite thing to do? My favorite thing to do is eat and sleep. So Pumpkin has given me a transition here from there. He's asked me a general question, and now he's saying, what is your favorite thing to do? And he just goes ahead and tells me what my favorite thing to do is. And then let's finish up. I hope that you have a good evening. Thank you for taking care of me and opening the door for me about 100 times a day. Your furry friend, got that comment in here again. Your furry friend, Pumpkin. And you can have fun with the greeting, and you can have fun with the closing. I said your furry friend here. You might say, I don't know, describe your animal however you want. So remember the rules of letter writing. Follow those letter writing rules, but really have some fun with it today. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.